we been? We've just been busy, really. Just been busy. I've really struggled to get stuff out on YouTube, to be honest. You know, I run the Falconry channel and Snakes Plus, and I've done stuff for those just about. But daily life, well, we've been away. That's been great. That seems like a distant memory. We went down to Hampshire in the New Forest, right down south. Had a few days away in our mini little caravan. That's been great. Hopefully the next vlog will be something a little bit more Mediterranean wildlife I'll have to show you as well at some point. But we've been busy really at Icarus Falconry with the falconer gathering, the second one ever, a meeting of falconers open to the public and everyone, of course, interested in these magnificent birds. But that's really took up a lot of my time, so I haven't done a lot of vlogging. I've got a few pictures and a few clips to show you. Jackie and I, obviously running a weekend event takes most of a year, but the days and that running up to it are intense mentally and physically. So we've been drained. We've had to hit the ground running and go back to work straight after. Jackie's a nurse, so that's not easy doing that shift work. We've basically felt like we've had jet lag. It's been absolutely exhausting. I drove to a school in Southampton. It's about a 3-hour trip each way. Yesterday morning, I had to stop and have a sleep on the way for just a 15-minute power nap, and I had to stop on the way home, whoa, fall over, and have a 20-minute power nap, because on the way there and on the way back, pretty much fell asleep at the wheel. You know, split second, but that is dangerous stuff. But just shows how absolutely mentally exhausted we were. And if you do feel like that, guys, for God's sake, stop and have a power nap. It would just help you for sure. A bit annoying. I'm in the countryside here and there's something going on. There's men cutting down the forest. Anyway, look where I am, my little favourite place where I can do a little bit of vlogging to you guys. Let me turn you around. I love this little hazel coppice through here. It's just very, very arty-farty. I tell kids about the tropical rainforest. On the forest floor, there's very few plants can grow because of the lack of light. And of course, an English woodland is pretty much just the same. That's why the English woodland plants, of course, flower mostly before the leaves are on the trees in early spring. While the light's still available, they do their life cycle then, those little woodland floor plants. But very pretty through there. This is just down the road from where I live, so it's a nice little spinney. There's certainly lots to come on the channel, and the thing is, my head's full of stuff I want to show you and talk to you about. It's just having the time to do it. I kind of admire those YouTubers that actually do it for a living. You know, they've got a niche and they make enough effort that they actually make a living from YouTube. And it's not because they make the living from YouTube, because I'm sure that then becomes all absorbing and becomes a job. But it's the fact that I can really concentrate. I've got all these ideas of YouTube. I know how to do it. I have all the kit. Wow, Heron. But I never really have enough time working with these animal businesses and animals and everything else in life to actually put it all into practice and bring you high quality, informative stuff. And yet it's all there in my head. This channel was always about vlogging nature and getting everyone involved in nature and thinking about it and taking their kids out. The content is in my head and it's endless. So much of this natural world I want to share with you guys. There really is. Places like this is just a little regular place I stop. It just reminds me of my childhood. In my childhood I would have been poking around in the mud in there. I saw the pond skaters then. I'd have been poking around, and in this weed-choked backwater, the weirdest thing is, because I wouldn't know now, because obviously I'm a grown-up and I don't look at the little things. How silly is that? But one thing's for sure, I bet if you spent enough time wading around down there, sifting through, you would find sticklebacks 3-spine and 10-spine. You'd probably find water scorpions. I haven't seen one for years, of course, because I'm not doing that. You're probably going to find a frog. And in the choked water like this, me and an old friend Keith Brady, down in Dustonville, we'd find little tiny inch-long tench in the most choked up backwaters. have somehow worked their way, and the tench have managed to spawn when it's flooding in the spring. There's more life in that choked up little bit of water than you would ever imagine. And yet, nowadays, of course, there's no children pond dipping. They're all on their screens. Probably going to say it a few times on this vlog, and I've said it elsewhere. The hot, dry, sunny summer has produced a mast year, so if you want fruit and nuts in your garden or the countryside, everything has gone mad. And I think that's twofold. There's a reason that lots of sunshine means the plants can really set seed and set fruit and mature. But also, when there's a drought, we're having phantom limb drop where the trees have dropped branches this year because they just can't sustain their whole cells. There's not enough water. They literally drop off whole branches to save themselves. And I think that's a big reason we get a massive mast year, is because those plants have actually, they don't think, do they? But they're thinking to themselves, Christ, we're probably not going to make it. Let's produce loads of seed and make sure our genetics and our genes pass forward to another generation. This summer's a drought, we're probably all going to die. There's that sort of effect on the nature as well. And of course I know they don't think like that. Beautiful. So I'm heading back now. I've done a lot of office work this morning, this evening. It's an annoying job. The job's not annoying, but these always annoy me. I like to get up and crack on and get my work done, because there's always so much else to do with these animals. Tonight I've got a double sort of a rainbows and guides talk. That means I'm not going to get home till 9 at the earliest. So it's kind of, to me, there's nothing worse than doing your job last thing in the day. If you could have done it first thing in the morning, which you can't, of course. So it'd be a great talk. The girls are great, but I've sort of got a deadline. So I've got loads and loads to do, but also I've got to be clock watching and make sure I'm all showered, dressed, animals ready to get out to start work at sort of tea time, if that makes sense. Always a hard one. Icarus falconry, of course, if you want to hands-on and work with fly, birds of prey as an experience day, icarusfalconry.co.uk. If you want a school educational visit that's better than anyone, the best value for money, and probably one of the least expensive visits, but I am the best at what I do when it comes to school educational visits. Been doing it a long time, and just talk to any teachers that I work with. That sounds so big-headed, and that's just not me. But Raptor Exotics, all one word, without the E in the middle, for all your school educational talks, your scouts, your guides, your clubs, your parties, maybe events and things like that. Sometimes we did a great snake talk at a Volkswagen bus rally. I said, can you come and do a snake talk? So I've got a few pictures of that. I'll put them over now. That was really good fun. My mate Chris came along and sort of helped wrangle the snakes. And it's great because snakes are really maligned animals. The default is kill it. I don't like them. I'm scared of them. And we met a lot of people that in that one talk, I know I changed that. They come up to me afterwards and said, I didn't dare touch it at the time. God, I stroked one of the snakes. I didn't realise how beautiful they were. And that's really the ethos of everything I do. It's education, it's conservation for education. But you've got to hook people in with fun and enjoyment too, for sure. And when I see people say, oh, that poor snake, did it want to be stroked? Who knows? But what I can tell you is it didn't care because of the way I handle them and acclimatise them. None of my snakes go, pick me, I want to go to school today. None of them do that. Equally, none of them are bothered. And yes, I really can tell, like most people that work well with animals, we can't talk to them like Dr. Dolittle because many of them don't have a physical language. But we can certainly understand their body language and the sounds they may make. 100%, of course. A horse whisperer doesn't whisper to horses. She knows how they think. Or he does, of course. So we're going to wander back. We're going to crack on. I'm going to hoover out the van and I'm going to check on the animals and get those all ready now for later on. But hopefully you'll enjoy a little bit of what is in this video. It's probably stuff from over the last couple of weeks. A sort of catch-up video. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned. So much stuff I want to get out on this channel about how to and what to and see in nature. But again, hopefully soon you'll be seeing some Mediterranean wildlife, which takes me right back to being a young teenager, poking around for reptiles and creepy crawlies in a warmer climate, when there's just so much more of them than here in the UK, I guess. Fledgling goldfinch in the falconry centre. Foraging for his first seeds. Look at that. Jackie's banging around and he's still feeding. Beautiful. Very vulnerable. Sparrowhawk fodder right there, really. And they're that naive and pretty rubbish flyers. I'm not bothered that we're here, we're 8 feet away. That's why we let the butterfly border go to seed and we don't tie it up. We leave all the seeds in these teasels, and very important food for goldfinches for sure, and habitat for overwintering invertebrates. A male black rat snake that got sunburnt last year in a much more open enclosure. Very different in there because sun through the glass, of course, the UV isn't really there, and he hasn't climbed up to the top. Russian rat snake. You can shut up. Someone we don't feature on the channel nowhere near enough is the giant tortoises, or any of the tortoises. So we've got here our largest sulcata, and if you're going to keep sulcatas, they need to graze. Most of their diet is actually grazing, and they eat a lot and they poo like a horse, like you can't believe. So this one's probably half grown, maybe a bit more. And then we've got a lovely leopard tortoise here. Absolutely gorgeous. What a beautiful show. And again, another grazing species. Sorry, I'm in your shade, aren't I? In your sun. Look at that. Beautiful creatures. And there is another sulcata around, but also the little Mediterranean tortoises, which everybody loves. Spud being a favourite because he's the smallest. He's an adult male. And then look at this beauty here, Tommy. He's original sort of 1970s, in fact probably late 60s, wild caught animal when they were brought into the UK in their thousands every summer, and most of them died, and the rest are all captive bred. This one was given to my daughter as a hatchling, and look at it now. Oh, absolutely beautiful. So Mediterranean spur-thighed, those two. Little Hermans here. Hello. And this beauty with its worn shell. So this was found roaming the streets of England in 1974 as an adult. So I can only wonder how many years it was living free, probably on a Greek island somewhere, and how old it actually is.
Well, it has a faster speed, a harder hit, much smaller wings. Not that wow, that was what we want to see. Tommy's back on form. We want to see it doing some moves, flying like a falcon, moves that would catch its prey for sure. And any minute now, be to survive. That's what you need. That's what you need, is other birds that you catch in the air. You've got to be something special. Now the Escamado side of its parents is very buoyant so far. More buoyant than most. It can float on the air, its wings and tail are bigger. So its body weight, and that's why this bird's good at it. It's all about hunting other birds in the sky. That's generally what the falcons are designed to do. Catch them still, other birds. With them in the sky, not sleeping on them, not feeding on the ground as such.
So Jack and I did manage a couple of nice picnics out in the little MX-5 that I renovated over the winter last year. It's nice to get out and just be normal people, but we don't get to do it very often. The sun shines in England, there really is. It's as good as anywhere in the world. Look at that. Could be the Mediterranean somewhere. And of course, when you do have days out in your MX-5, you need a beautiful wife. And you very much need a decent picnic hamper, because the MX-5 has a decent sized boot for such a little tiny thing. Nice carpet, eh? Yes, please. Look at Guinness. Oh dear. Looks like a fox the way it's walking. Trotting. Whoa, you're too zoomed in. No, it doesn't have a tail, does it? It's even snowing. Over there. It's an animal. It's a long way away. I now think it's a dog. Or is it a deer? Or is it a Bedford wallaby? Or is it a fox? You can probably see now because you're zoomed in, but I can't see until I look at this map. I'm going for muntjac, but I really can't tell from here. Now, we're not in the high country, and we'd certainly get wagtails here, but I'm almost surprised there's not a dipper dipping around in there. Unbelievable. Again, 5 minutes from a big city, really. Look at that. And of course, apart from the busy traffic, taking the back roads to avoid all the traffic, there's no one here. Look at that, guys. Travel the world and you see the sights, but you've got to say, in England, there are some beautiful places. Look at this idyllic water meadow. It's an old water mill here. Look at this amazing bridge. And yet, We're a 5-minute drive from Bedford city centre. And yet, all this wonderful English countryside, all on the villages and the outskirts around. Absolutely gorgeous. And so it continues. The fruiting and the nutting in the countryside. It really is going to be a bumper year this year. A feast for the birds, and also an awful lot of wastage because there's not enough birds to eat it all. Certainly is. Drawing to an end, really, the summer. Crops are being harvested. The countryside's golden. And soon the kids will be back to school. And it will all change again. You hot boy? Me too, mate.
What did you find, sweet pea?
That's your from this lip.
Oh,
That's your
stick.
trumpet. That.
It
Yeah.
looks like it's been burnt in the past, doesn't it?
Poor. Poor.
Oh,
Will we snuggle her back up now then, babe? Very good.
Ow.
Great grey owl's molting. And she's got her face feathers, her facial feathers. Whoops. But not really any of her head feathers. How weird does that look? And the big grass snakes is out. Lift this lid up. I think she's going to bolt. I daren't lift the lid up. Hold on. No, it's not working. There she goes. What a beauty. The UK's most gorgeous animals. But quite shy indeed. Meanwhile, Roxy the fox looks scrawny as hell. Not so bad now, but the last couple of weeks really molting out a thick winter coat. And she looks mangy as hell. But most of that's been brushed out by the girls. Pampered pooch. Won't be long, she'll be growing it all back, thick winter coat and looking gorgeous again. Asclepian snakes are enjoying the warm weather. They're not out in the full heat. They're inside the barn, if you like. The temperature's just right and they're feeling well. Look at that, snuggled up in there. Interesting tree here at Icarus Falconry because its flowers seem to really attract bumblebees as well as honeybees. There's a lot of them up there. You can literally hear it buzzing with different bees and a lot of wasps as well, probably getting nectar for themselves and catching flies for their kids, but absolutely full of insects.
Do that way.
There you go. Back to your carrot. There you go.
It's cool. This.
That's a little one. That one's Boone, isn't it? Boone.
Ooh.
Boone.
That second brood comma. Oh! Have a look. Lovely colour this time of year. I've said it before, but I'll say it again. Beautiful. Now, one thing which is a real anti-conservation is the stupid and endless Facebook posts off and on wildlife pages where some innocent mother might put a picture of her daughter holding a slow worm, little 4-year-old, and the barrage of insults saying things like, why did you have to pick it up? That poor creature, there was no need to touch. Well, there is. There really is a need to touch. It really, really changes how all of us feel about nature. We're tactile, not just visual. 1 out of 10 for nest construction. Perfect grass snake sized frog under my van. Probably one of last year's, that little guy. These white cloud mountain minnows are probably the cheapest, most commonest little fish you can put in an aquarium. And yet when the males are sparring, just because they're common and easily available, look at them. Absolute stunning micro beauties. Absolutely glorious fish. Now another friend, Roy, in Spain, has seen another chameleon plodding around in his garden. How amazing is that? A wild chameleon just living round your property, coming in off the countryside, I guess. What a cracker.
Anyway, here it comes. Come on. Come on. Hold your nerve. We'll go for that, surely, Emily. Give her a round of applause.
The little sapphire shrimps are thriving in the fish tank too. Beautiful also. So let's just catch a glimpse of a cell flying the little vulture. It's about a year old. It's not a lot of wind for him, but the girls have got him going really, really well, and the cell's been pushing him now. Doing some lovely soaring. A bit of breeze, so you might not hear me, but I'll overlay it if I need to. But just have a look at this. It's lovely birds. These turkey vultures, if you ever go to Mexico or anywhere, Florida, you'll see them, and they're so buoyant, so buoyant. A nice little circuit, and they look ginormous. You know, you see that as a bird watcher, and you go, "Whoa, look at the size of that!" But you look at it chest on with its wings out. It's a small bird. I don't know what it weighs. What does it weigh?
2 pounds 13.
£2. Okay, so it's bigger than a female harrisawk, but not a lot body-wise. It's just a ginormous soaring wing. Quite a long tail for a vulture, bit of manoeuvrability. Casting him off, giving him a launch. Look at this. It took a while to get him going. They're very, very silly birds. Turkey vultures, I would say, silly, sort of quite babyish. You imprint them and they behave like silly babies, and take a bit of time to learn that we don't want him running around, and we don't want him just being silly, flying a few feet and running up to us, that he's got to go and do as he was sort of gifted by nature and actually fly and soar. You know, our job's experience days, really, not displays. And we want our guests to really, well, like you would if you're doing a display, we want them to really thrill and thrive and really wonder at these magnificent birds. And to do that, they've got to do at least some sort of thing that they would in the wild. They've got to display their natural flying techniques. And that sort of hard work pumping those wings is not what any vulture wants to do, but it's what he's got to do when there's very little breeze. Okay, so Emily's trained a crow. And she's trained it so well that the falcons can chase it without it getting killed. Sadly, it's not very good at flying, and it has broken bits, and it had to go to the vet several times, but we'll see what it does. We'll see what it does. Wow. What am I doing, Emily?
Just wait, I'll tell you when, just throw it straight.
Throw it straight. I didn't throw it hard enough, did I? Do you have to give it quite enough, do you?
I think so, it just needs a bit of time to get off the ground. This is the problem I have, I can never throw it properly.
They did sort of launch them like a javelin, didn't they? Oh, hang on, the wind's coming out. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to go this side into the wind, shall I?
Yeah. Ready?
Yeah. Oh yeah, you have got to give it like a javelin throw, haven't you? I've learnt something there. Where did it go?
What's Bud doing?
He's stopped. He's stopped now.
He stopped. What was he doing a minute ago?
He's cuddling with me.
Oh, because he loves you, baby, doesn't he? Yeah, he's a good boy, isn't
He's
he?
wonderful me.
He says, love you, Lily, love you. Good girl, that's nice and gentle, isn't it? Is he soft? Does he feel soft, Lil?
Bud, he's my best friend. He's best friends.
He's your best friend?
Hmm.
Oh, lovely, darling, that's
He's
beautiful.
scared.
Yeah, Evie's a bit, she wants you to cuddle her because she's used to you fussing her. So she's just next to Grandma and she keeps poking Grandma to say, what about me? What about me? Like, Grandma will give her a cuddle. There you go. Grandma's giving her nose a tickle.
He's a bit too scared.
Yeah, she's shy, isn't she? Bud isn't shy though, is he?
He's a bit scared. He wants to eat.
She just wants cuddles, but she's okay. She's jumped up there now. She's going to snuggle up. There you go. She's all right.
What's that noise?
It's Elsie. She's in her bed.
That's for cuddle me.
I know, likes to be. Love you, Lily. Says love you.
That's what cuddle my bed.
I know.
That's what cuddle my bed.
I know, because it's nice and snuggly there, isn't it? You're nice and warm because you've been drinking milky. And you've got the blankie on you and he wants to share the blankie with Lily, doesn't he?
He's a bit soft.
He's very soft, isn't he? He's got lovely curly hair, hasn't he? He's giving Grandma a cuddle. He's a good boy, isn't he?
He's a bit angry, but a bit angry.
I don't think he's angry. He's smiling. You don't smile when you're angry, do you? What face do you pull when you're angry?
Angry.
Yeah. When you're happy and you want to give a cuddle, what face do you pull? Yeah, that's right.
I want angry face.